You already know that some women possess an almost supernatural ability to captivate men without saying a single word, without making grand gestures, without begging for attention or validation. These women understand something that goes beyond conventional dating advice, beyond the superficial games that exhaust both hearts and minds. They have discovered what Carl Jung called the power of the unconscious feminine, that mysterious force that operates beneath the surface of conscious interaction, weaving spells through presence rather than performance. This quiet move that makes any man obsessed is not about manipulation or playing hard to get in the traditional sense. It is about embodying a profound psychological principle that Jung identified as the integration of opposing forces within the feminine psyche. When a woman learns to hold both her vulnerability and her strength, her warmth and her boundaries, her openness and her mystery, she creates what Jung termed a transcendent function that magnetizes the masculine consciousness in ways that bypass rational thought entirely. Consider the woman who walks into a room and immediately commands attention not through loudness or overt sexuality, but through something far more compelling: complete self-possession. She carries herself as though she owns not just the space she occupies, but the very air she breathes. Her eyes hold secrets that she has no intention of revealing too quickly. Her smile suggests depths that would take lifetimes to explore. This is not arrogance or coldness, but rather the quiet confidence of someone who has done the deep inner work of individuation, who has faced her shadow and integrated it rather than projecting it onto others. The masculine psyche is hardwired to respond to this kind of integrated feminine energy because it represents what he unconsciously seeks but cannot name: wholeness. Most men spend their lives in pursuit of external achievements, building identities around what they do rather than who they are. When they encounter a woman who radiates completeness from within, who does not need their validation to feel worthy, who does not diminish herself to make them feel bigger, something ancient and primal awakens within them. They recognize, on a cellular level, that this woman possesses something they lack, something they desperately want to understand and absorb. This quiet power operates through what Jung called active receptivity, a state where the feminine principle receives not passively, but with conscious intention. She listens not just to words, but to the spaces between words, to the tremor in his voice when he speaks about his dreams, to the way his energy shifts when he feels truly seen. This kind of listening creates an energetic field around her that draws men in like moths to flame, not because she's trying to attract them, but because she has created a sanctuary where they can drop their masks and encounter their authentic selves. The woman who masters this understands that her greatest weapon is not her beauty, though she may be beautiful, nor her intelligence, though she may be brilliant, nor her achievements, though she may be accomplished. Her greatest power lies in her capacity to remain centered in her own truth regardless of external circumstances. She does not chase because she understands that what is meant for her will find its way to her. She does not beg because she knows her worth is not determined by whether others recognize it. She does not explain herself endlessly because she trusts that the right person will see her clearly without needing a manual. This psychological stance creates what contemporary trauma therapists call earned secure attachment, a state where past wounds have been metabolized into wisdom rather than projected onto new relationships. The woman who embodies this energy has done her shadow work, has faced the parts of herself she would rather ignore, has integrated her light and her darkness into a cohesive whole. She no longer needs a man to complete her because she has learned to complete herself. This paradox is what makes her irresistible. The less she needs him, the more he needs her. From a Stoic perspective, This aligns perfectly with the teachings of Marcus Aurelius about the power of detachment. The woman who can love fully while remaining unattached to outcomes, who can give her heart completely while keeping her center intact, who can be vulnerable without being weak, embodies the highest form of feminine power. She understands that trying to control another person's feelings or behavior is not only impossible, but ultimately destructive to both parties. The psychological mechanism behind why this quiet move creates obsession lies in what Jung identified as the anima projection. Every man carries within his unconscious psyche an image of the idealized feminine, shaped by his earliest experiences with his mother, his cultural conditioning, and his deepest longings for connection and understanding. Most women, in their eagerness to be loved, try to fulfill this projection directly by becoming what they think he wants. But the woman who understands true feminine power does something far more sophisticated. She becomes so fully herself that she forces him to confront the gap between his projection and reality. This confrontation is not comfortable for him, but it is deeply compelling. When a woman refuses to shrink herself to fit his expectations, when she maintains her own opinions and boundaries, even when it would be easier to agree, when she honors her own needs and desires rather than abandoning them for his approval, she creates what psychologists call cognitive dissonance in his mind. He expected her to be manageable, predictable, easily categorized. Instead, she presents him with complexity, depth, mystery. His rational mind cannot compute this, so his unconscious takes over, creating an obsession that he cannot explain to himself or anyone else. This is why the quiet move is so much more powerful than obvious tactics. When a woman plays hard to get in conventional ways by ignoring his calls, canceling dates, or being deliberately cold, she activates his logical mind, which quickly recognizes the game and either plays along or loses interest. But when she remains warm and open while simultaneously maintaining her own center, when she gives genuine attention while never abandoning her own life and priorities, when she loves without losing herself, she creates a paradox that his psyche cannot resolve through normal means. The masculine mind is naturally drawn to challenges, but not the artificial challenges created by games and manipulation. It seeks worthy challenges, mysteries that demand growth and evolution to solve. The woman who embodies integrated feminine energy presents exactly this kind of challenge. She is not trying to be mysterious. She simply is mysterious because she has layers that have been developed through years of introspection, creativity, spiritual practice, and authentic living. She cannot be figured out quickly because there is genuinely more to figure out. This depth is what creates the obsession. He finds himself thinking about her at unexpected moments, not because she has planted hooks through manipulation, but because every interaction reveals new facets of her personality, new depths to explore. She becomes like a favorite book that rewards each rereading with fresh insights, a piece of music that reveals new harmonies each time it is heard. His obsession is not unhealthy fixation, but genuine fascination with someone who continues to surprise and delight him. The woman who masters this understands that she must first fall in love with herself before anyone else can fall in love with her in a healthy way. This is not narcissism, but necessary self-regard. She has spent time alone, has cultivated interests and passions that have nothing to do with romantic relationships, has built a life that feels rich and meaningful even in the absence of a partner. This fullness creates an energetic signature that attracts not just any man, but the right man, the one who can match her depth and commitment to growth. Before we continue exploring how this psychological dynamic unfolds in real relationships, I want to pause and acknowledge something beautiful that is happening right now. You are here, investing your precious time and energy in understanding these deeper truths about love and attraction, and that tells me something profound about who you are. You are not content with surface-level advice or quick fixes. You understand that real transformation requires going deeper, requires facing uncomfortable truths about yourself and your patterns. This willingness to look within, to question your assumptions, to grow and evolve, is exactly what makes a woman truly magnetic. If this resonates with you, if you are ready to continue this journey of discovery together, I would be honored to have you subscribe to this channel. But more than that, I want to hear from you in the comments below. Share with me one moment when you felt truly powerful in your own skin, when you knew without a doubt that you were worthy of love and respect. Your story might be exactly what another woman needs to hear today to begin her own transformation. The practical application of this psychological principle requires understanding what Jung called the transcendent function, the ability to hold paradox without collapsing into one extreme or the other. The woman who creates obsession without trying has mastered the art of being simultaneously available and unavailable, open and boundaried, loving and detached. This is not about sending mixed signals or being inconsistent. It is about embodying the full spectrum of feminine energy in an integrated way that most people find both confusing and compelling. Consider how this manifests in actual interactions. When he texts her, she responds not immediately, but when it genuinely fits into her life rhythm. Her response time is not calculated to create anxiety, but flows naturally from someone who has a rich inner life and external commitments that she honors. When she does respond, her messages carry weight and substance. She does not pepper him with endless questions or fill every silence with chatter. Instead, she communicates with intention, sharing thoughts and feelings that add value to their connection rather than simply maintaining contact for its own sake. In face-to-face interactions, this woman listens with her entire being, but she also speaks her truth without apology. She asks questions that come from genuine curiosity rather than a desire to keep conversation flowing. She shares stories and insights that reveal her depth without oversharing or using him as an emotional dumping ground. Most importantly, she maintains her own emotional regulation throughout their interactions. His moods and reactions do not determine her inner state. She can remain centered and peaceful even when he is stressed, angry, or withdrawn. This emotional stability is perhaps the most magnetic quality she possesses. In a world where most people are reactive, where emotions spread like wildfire from person to person, encountering someone who maintains her center regardless of external chaos feels like finding shelter in a storm. He begins to associate her presence with peace, with coming home to himself. This association happens below the threshold of conscious awareness, which is why he cannot explain why he finds her so compelling. He just knows that he feels better when he is with her, more like the man he wants to be. The shadow work component of this transformation cannot be overstated. The woman who creates healthy obsession has faced her own capacity for manipulation, neediness, and control. She has acknowledged these aspects of herself without judgment, has understood their origins in early wounds and survival strategies, and has consciously chosen to integrate them rather than act them out. This integration gives her access to tremendous personal power because she is no longer unconsciously driven by unmet needs and unhealed pain. When a woman has done this level of inner work, she naturally embodies what the Stoics called preferred indifference. She would prefer to have love in her life, but she does not need it to feel complete. She would prefer to be in a healthy relationship, but she will not sacrifice her well-being to maintain an unhealthy one. This stance is not cold or calculating. It comes from a deep understanding that she cannot control another person's feelings or choices, and that trying to do so diminishes both her and them. This psychological position creates what contemporary attachment theorists call earned secure attachment. Unlike those who are naturally secure due to consistent early caregiving, she has earned her security through conscious work on herself. This makes her security even more robust because it has been tested and refined through difficulty. Men unconsciously recognize this strength and are drawn to it because it promises that she will not abandon herself for love, which paradoxically make her safer to love. The integration of masculine and feminine energies within herself also plays a crucial role. She has developed what Jung called her animus, her inner masculine, not by becoming masculine herself, but by learning to embody healthy masculine qualities like direction, focus, and the ability to make decisions and stick to them. This integration means she does not need him to provide these qualities for her. She can be in her feminine energy with him because she has access to her own masculine energy when needed. This completeness within herself is what creates the mysterious quality that drives men wild. They sense that she does not need them in the desperate, clingy way that creates suffocating relationships. Instead, she wants them, chooses them, delights in them, but from a place of fullness rather than emptiness. This distinction is everything. When someone loves you from emptiness, their love feels heavy, demanding, exhausting. When someone loves you from fullness, their love feels like sunlight, nourishing without overwhelming. The woman who has mastered this understands that creating obsession is not about tactics or techniques, but about becoming someone so genuinely compelling that others cannot help but be drawn to her energy. She has stories to tell because she has lived fully. She has wisdom to share because she has learned from her mistakes. She has depth to offer because she has spent time in the depths of her own psyche. She radiates mystery not because she is withholding information, but because she genuinely contains multitudes. The culmination of this psychological transformation reveals itself in how she navigates conflict and challenges within relationships. The woman who creates healthy obsession does not avoid difficult conversations or pretend that problems do not exist. Instead, she approaches conflict from a place of curiosity rather than defensiveness, seeking to understand rather than to win. This ability to remain open and curious, even in the midst of disagreement, demonstrates a level of emotional maturity that most men have never encountered in their romantic relationships. When he says something that hurts her feelings, she does not immediately react with anger or withdrawal. Instead, she takes time to feel her feelings fully, to understand what has been triggered within her, and then to communicate from a place of clarity rather than reactivity. This does not mean she becomes a doormat or accepts unacceptable behavior. Rather, she addresses issues directly while maintaining her emotional center. She might say something like, "When you spoke to me that way, I felt disrespected, and that does not work for me in a relationship. I need us to find a different way to handle disagreements." This direct but non-aggressive communication style is deeply attractive to mature men because it demonstrates both strength and vulnerability. She is strong enough to advocate for herself, but vulnerable enough to admit when she has been hurt. She does not play games or use passive-aggressive tactics to get her point across. Instead, she trusts that honest communication, delivered with love and respect, is the foundation of any relationship worth having. Her approach to his emotions is equally powerful. When he is struggling with work stress, family issues, or personal challenges, she does not try to fix him or take responsibility for his emotional state. Instead, She offers what Jung called a container for his experience. She listens without judgment, offers support without taking over, and maintains faith in his ability to handle his own challenges. This kind of support is incredibly rare and valuable because it honors his autonomy while still providing comfort and encouragement. The psychological principle at work here is what trauma therapists call co-regulation. Rather than becoming dysregulated when he is dysregulated, she maintains her own calm nervous system, which actually helps him return to calm more quickly. This is not about being emotionally distant or uninvolved. It is about being so grounded in her own emotional reality that she can remain present with his without losing herself in it. This capacity extends to how she handles his relationships with other people, including other women, because she has done her own work around jealousy and possessiveness, because she understands that these emotions usually stem from her own insecurities rather than his actual behavior. She can remain secure even when he has female friends or colleagues. This security is not naive. She still pays attention to red flags and maintains appropriate boundaries. But she does not police his interactions or demand constant reassurance about his commitment to her. This trust and security create what psychologists call a secure base from which he can operate in the world. Knowing that he has a partner who believes in him, who does not try to control or diminish him, who celebrates his successes without feeling threatened by them, actually makes him more likely to remain faithful and committed. The psychological safety she provides makes him want to protect and preserve their relationship rather than escape from it. The woman who has mastered this art also understands the importance of maintaining her own goals and dreams throughout the relationship. She does not abandon her career, her friendships, or her personal interests to focus entirely on him. Instead, she continues to grow and evolve as an individual, bringing new experiences and insights back to the relationship. This ongoing personal development keeps her interesting and prevents the relationship from becoming stagnant. Her independence is not a threat to their connection, but actually strengthens it. When she maintains her own life and identity, she has more to offer in the relationship. She brings stories from her work, insights from her friendships, excitement about her hobbies and interests. She does not expect him to be her entire world, which takes tremendous pressure off him and allows their time together to be more enjoyable and less fraught with unmet needs. This approach creates what relationship experts call interdependence, a healthy balance between togetherness and separateness. They are deeply connected but not enmeshed. They support each other but do not lose themselves in the process. They love fully but maintain their individual identities and autonomous functioning. As we reach the end of this exploration, I want to speak directly to your heart for a moment. The journey of becoming this kind of woman, of developing this quiet power that makes men obsess in healthy ways, is not easy. It requires facing parts of yourself that you might prefer to ignore, healing wounds that you might rather leave buried, and taking responsibility for your own happiness in ways that can feel overwhelming. But I want you to know that this work is the most important investment you will ever make, not just in your romantic relationships, but in every area of your life. When you truly love and value yourself, when you develop this unshakable inner foundation, everything changes. I hope you will continue this journey with me by subscribing to this channel. But more than that, I hope you will share your own story in the comments below. Tell me about a time when you felt truly powerful in your femininity, or share what part of this message resonated most deeply with you. And if you have questions or topics you would like me to explore in future videos, please let me know. Your voice matters, your story matters, and together we can create a community of women who support each other in becoming the most magnetic, powerful, and authentic versions of ourselves.